Hello everyone, I'm Cotey Speaks Finance, and today I'll be speaking about the cannabis market and a cannabis market intro. So today I'll go over some potential players, differentiating what you want to invest in the sector, some overhyped stocks, questions you should ask yourself, the moat, market potential, and some stocks to take a look at. So before you guys enter the market, some questions that you want to ask yourself is, do you want to invest in CBD or do you want to invest in THC or do you want to invest in both? So some companies specialize in the hemp CBD portion of the cannabis plant. Some companies specialize in the THC portion of the marijuana plant, and some companies do both. So really questions you want to ask yourself and answer once you're researching your companies is which sector that these companies are going to focus on or specialize in. Then moving towards Canadian stocks or US stock players. So Canada fully legalized cannabis, so if you're just starting to get introduced and research it now, yes, there has been many companies that have had their share price skyrocket, and there's still a chance for you to enter because there's still time for these companies to expand. In Canada, there is yet to be a year where cannabis was fully legalized, so we've yet to see an actual year where you see the annual numbers coming out of these companies. So there's still a lot of market potential, or it could be worse, and they're not projected as much sales as they get, and the share prices could plummet. So I would advise right now staying away from overhyped / bought stocks such as Tilray, and I would try to stay towards $3 to $8 stocks, which would set you up for a better entrance point and set you up with a better margin of safety. Keep in mind that as these companies start to expand and make acquisitions and create more subsidiaries, that their share price will go down if they're using their money from stocks to purchase these companies. Now, my personal game plan for the cannabis market is to hold my positions for 5 years. An example of these companies that I will be holding positions is companies like Aurora Cannabis, which use their stock to purchase companies, which drove down their stock price, which makes a better entrance point for investors. Now, since there was 43 million in sales in the first 2 weeks of the Canadian market with significant pot shortages, this just goes to show the market potential in Canada alone. Now again, I entered the Canadian market 2 years ago, which was early enough to beat the herd to the Canadian stocks, in which I'm holding right now, but there's still time for US stock players to establish themselves once it becomes federally legal, and there's still time for US stock players to gain dominant space. Now, when looking at these companies, I would look at companies' homepages. Do they have an experienced team? What is their mission plan? And do they have a plan on acquiring other companies and making them their brand? Are they going to invest in global expansion? What is their global outreach? Do they have trades established with other countries who are going to have legalized cannabis for medicinal applications or recreational purposes? And what is their price point? And what is their price for the production of a gram? What is their selling point for that gram? So it sees kind of what that company has set up for their margin, which will work into their free cash flow and then future acquisitions. I entered the cannabis market 2 years ago, which was early enough to get there before the herd, so my positions are set up good right now. But there's still time for US stock players to establish themselves. Additionally, cannabis stock players, depending on their price point. The only overhyped dominant players that I've seen thus far, due to federal law hindering them, has been MedMen, but they have lost a significant amount in these past couple of years, and that's really due to their business model, which is buying real estate in expensive areas, and then essentially that's going to drive the price up of their cannabis. When people can get it cheaper in other areas, is that really going to create more customers? I don't think so. And it's not like it's McDonald's, where it has a similar business model where they buy real estate in highly trafficked areas or good real estate, expensive real estate. McDonald's, their business model, and what you get from it is cheap food, and it has that taste and it has that branding to go behind it. So I don't really see MedMen capitalizing on this. And also, MedMen's higher ups have been taking a lot of money out of the company, and that's some reports that you can see on Seeking Alpha and also on Edgar. So that just goes to show kind of where their mindset is. If you were building a company right now in the cannabis sector, would you take $1 million out of investors' money for yourself, or would you invest that back in the company and try to be a dominant player? The biggest advice that I can offer to people looking to invest in the cannabis sector is look towards what a cannabis company's moat is. For example, Apple's moat is their product, the simplicity, the security. It's Apple. It sets us apart from all of their phones, all of their brands, based off of their engineering of their products. So some more questions to ask are, what are these cannabis companies' Edgar statements? Had they had positive years, positive numbers coming in? Most recently, it's most likely not that they've had positive numbers due to their expansion, if this company is expanding and acquiring subsidiaries. So most of these companies will be expanding for some time to come if they want to become global dominant cannabis brands. Overall, I place most dominant and successful cannabis companies' stock prices to be close in relation, if not more than, alcohol companies. And this is why, because not only do you have recreational applications, but you have medical applications, and you also have the hemp CBD sectors of the market. You have edibles. So that makes it encompass a lot more in a broader range of products than alcohol companies. So with all that being said, I will place some stock tickers down here. And to the recent market plunge, some of these companies are a good entrance point. But again, I am not a financial analyst, but these are some companies that I have done thorough research on that I see potential in. So ACRG Acreage Holdings, which just shot up, I just did a video on it, and not 2 days after, it literally boosted up to $22, is sitting at $11, $12. I was more comfortable at a $6 to $8 entrance point, but boom, they shot up. So that shows that that's an institutional investor that sees potential in this company. And for me right now, $22, I don't know if that's a comfortable entrance point for myself. I don't know for you. But they could definitely be a dominant player in the cannabis space, and that just shows that there are investors that see potential in this company. The next company that I see potential in is Ianthus, ITHUF. With their recent acquisition of MPX, they have the mindset of growth and market potential to be a big U.S. player, and they're sitting at $4.38, which I saw most recently. And the reason that I like them so much is that they are under the radar, but they are making acquisitions, they are being aggressive, and they want to be the top cannabis player in America. So we'll see where they're at in a couple of years, but right now they have the mission set to be the top spot, to be the top player. The next stock that I see potential in is Aurora Cannabis, stock ticker ACB, price $5.22. In my opinion, they will be a top player from their aggressive acquisitions and their social media campaigns mixed with their team, and especially Cam Batley, who has been great at expressing their company's goals and their quest for global expansion. And I'll do a focus video on them, but also Aurora Cannabis, late 2019, is marked and expected to be grossing the most cannabis in Canada. It's going to surpass cannabis growth right now. It hasn't surpassed it yet, but end of 2019, with all the facilities they built, they are marked to surpass them. And once that happens, a news article is going to come out and more people are going to start paying attention. A company that offers a little more safety net would be a big pharma company such as GWPH. They're a pharmaceutical company who have had recent articles coming out saying they're leading the cannabis market in exploration of CBD tests and experiments on what it actually does to the body. This company is good for investors who want to invest in a company that has already been successful, but is also experimenting and exploring the cannabis market. Now, I don't know how much they're going to be focused and specialized in this sector, but I do know that they have their feet wet in the cannabis market. Now, a company with a way lower entrance point is a company based out of Nevada. Now, there has been a lot of companies that have gone on the stock market from Nevada just because it's been legalized for a while and it's a high trafficked area. The company stock ticker is TGIFF. It's a Canadian based company that is based out of there, and they're looking to make a footprint. I don't know about their global expansion, but they're priced at 0.30. So do your due diligence on Nevada, Colorado, those states show potential. Just do your due diligence on those companies out in those states. Now, either way, this market is showing huge potential and has not been fully legalized yet in the US. So it just shows that these cannabis companies can gross a lot of money and there can be a lot of profit coming in. I firmly believe a hard-earned dollar now in a cannabis company with a good, honorable team and a sufficient moat with a good business model and global expansion will have good profits in the years to come. So guys and gals, and any YouTuber out there, if you have any questions, post below and I will respond. If you thought this video educated you on the cannabis sector, please subscribe. There's going to be more videos to come. I'll be posting videos soon. And like always, everyone, I am Cotey Speaks, and this is Cotey Speaks Finance. Feed the bear, feed the bull, and happy investing.